What if the biggest investing lie on the internet is that getting rich has to look exciting? Every day, social media pushes the same fantasy. A guy standing next to a rented Lamborghini, a screenshot of a trading account, somebody claiming they turned $10,000 into a fortune overnight. Fast money, fast success, fast lifestyle. But statistically, the people who actually become wealthy usually look completely normal. No designer clothes, no penthouse tours, no motivational speeches. Just ordinary people making boring decisions consistently for a very long time. And tonight, I want to show you something most financial influencers never talk about. How $10,000 can realistically become $500,000 without gambling, without crypto hype, and without trying to predict the market. Because the real secret to wealth is almost always patience. My name is Nick. Not a financial advisor, just math. Let's go. $10,000 feels like a huge amount of money until you start thinking about building real wealth with it. Then suddenly, it feels tiny. You're lying in bed at 11:47 p.m. scrolling through your phone when a video pops up. A guy in expensive clothes explaining how he turned 10 grand into $500,000 trading high conviction opportunities. And for a second, your brain starts asking dangerous questions. What if I had $10,000 to invest? What's actually possible? Here's the truth nobody online wants to admit. Yes, turning $10,000 into $500,000 is possible. But the real path is so boring that most people quit before it works, because real wealth usually grows slowly at first. That's how compounding works. There's an old finance shortcut called the Rule of 72. You divide 72 by your annual return percentage, and that tells you roughly how many years it takes your money to double. At 8%, your money doubles about every 9 years. At 10%, about every 7 years. Now imagine this. $10,000 becomes $20,000, then $40,000, then $80,000, then $160,000, then $320,000, and eventually $500,000. But here's the problem. The first few years feel painfully slow. Nothing exciting happens. Your account barely moves, and your brain starts thinking, this isn't working. That's the moment most people fail. Not because the strategy is bad, but because it's boring. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Meet Venus. She's 28 years old, works a regular marketing job, drives a Honda Civic, and makes decent money but nothing crazy. One day she decides she's tired of feeling financially stuck, so she invests $10,000 into a low-cost index fund and sets up automatic contributions of $400 a month. That's it. No stock trading. No crypto gambling. No trying to beat Wall Street. Year 1, around $15,000. Year 5, about $44,000. And honestly, she feels disappointed. 5 years of investing and she still doesn't feel rich. This is exactly where most people quit. But Venus keeps going. And around year 10, something changes. Her investments start making more money than she contributes herself. That's the moment compounding becomes powerful. By year 20, she has over $300,000. By year 30, roughly $760,000. Not because she found a secret strategy, but because she stayed consistent. And that's the part social media hates. Real wealth usually looks boring while it's happening. Now here's something even crazier. Most professional investors fail to beat the market. There are reports tracking hedge funds and active fund managers against the S&P 500. And over long periods, most of them lose to a simple index fund. Think about that. People with research teams, expensive offices, and years of experience often underperform a strategy anyone can use on their phone. Even Warren Buffett famously said regular investors should simply buy low-cost index funds and hold them long-term. But there's one thing that destroys most investors: emotion. People panic when markets crash. They sell when prices fall, then wait too long to invest again. And the cruel part is this: The best investing opportunities usually appear during the scariest moments, when everybody thinks the world is ending. That's why patience matters more than intelligence. Now let's talk about something almost nobody pays attention to. Fees. A 1% fee sounds tiny, but over decades that small percentage can quietly destroy hundreds of thousands of dollars in future wealth. That's why low-cost index funds matter so much. You keep more of your returns. And here's the most important lesson in this entire video. Your biggest wealth tool usually isn't high returns. It's consistency. Small amounts invested regularly over long periods become life-changing. Even $50 a month matters. Even $100 a month matters. Because compounding rewards time more than almost anything else. And if you think ordinary people can't become wealthy this way, look at Ronald Read. He worked as a gas station attendant and janitor, drove old cars, wore cheap clothes, and lived quietly. People thought he was poor. When he died, he left behind roughly $8 million. Not because he got lucky, but because he invested consistently for decades. That's what real wealth often looks like. Quiet, patient, invisible. So here's the truth. Turning $10,000 into $500,000 is possible, but it probably won't happen quickly. It won't happen through hype, and it definitely won't happen because somebody online promised a shortcut. It happens because you buy good investments, stay consistent, and ignore noise long enough for compounding to take over. That's the entire game. And honestly, the people who usually win financially are not the smartest people in the room. They're the people who stayed patient while everyone else chased excitement. The boring investor often wins because wealth isn't built by being right once. It's built by avoiding stupid mistakes for a very long time. So start. Even if it's small. Even if it feels slow, because future, you won't care how exciting the process looked. Future, you will care that you didn't quit.